Hey, what's up, YouTube? Boswell back with another video from the Husband Codes. So I'll let you guys know on Thursdays, I will be telling a personal story about my life. And I alluded to it this morning if you've seen the morning coffee talks. All right. And today I want to share a personal story that I haven't shared with a lot of people. I have mentioned a part of this story, which is that my mother has passed away when I was younger, but I haven't told y'all the story about it and just kind of the essence on why I want to tell the story. All right. So just starting off, you know, telling this story is definitely, one of the most painful events in my life that I'm gonna share. And that is the day that my mother died. And even with that, I can tell you that it definitely shaped me as a man, it shaped me as a husband, and it shaped me as the leader of my family. Now, when this happened, I was around like in the second grade, and I lost my mother to colon cancer. And it really felt like, the rug was pulled from under me. Losing her definitely left a void in my life. And it seemed that, it was without logic, without just kind of, it was just shocking because, again, I was very young, second grade. And I didn't know that she was already going through, her pains and her trials and tribulations. I was young. I didn't understand it. But the day that she passed, it was just a shock because, again, I didn't even know she was sick. But when she passed, I got a call. I was in school, and they came to pick me up. They took me to her, and when I got there, all my family was there. And everybody was gathered around. People were crying. And again, I'm in the second grade. And my sister at this time, she was just a baby, infant. She couldn't speak, walk, anything. And I vividly remember them taking us in a room with her. Her body was on the bed. She was ice cold. But, we laid next to her, me and my sister. Again, even at that stage in life, I didn't understand what death meant, that you wouldn't come back from it. It was just a very interesting experience, but very vivid as well. But getting to the point of the story, for years after that, I really, really hated God. I remember, like, after everybody left and everything was over, said and done, I remember I was riding a bike in this neighborhood where I lived at the time. And I remember looking up to the sky and like, God, I hate you. You know what I mean? And I just couldn't understand, why he would take my mother away. Out of everybody, I had a great mother. She was, somebody that was well renounced in our family. Everybody loved her. Everybody cherished her. And I just didn't understand. Like, here we are, me and my sister with no mother. We didn't have a father. My father wasn't around. My sister's father wasn't around. And it's like, what? Even at that age, it just didn't make sense. I was angry, I was confused, and bitter. And with that, I carried that anger, for years around with me, even into adulthood to some degree. Um, Even when I was younger, it really shaped the way I view the world, certain relationships, and just how, I went about treating myself. It was just a very trying moment, even at that age. You know what I mean? So, but as I grew older, something shifted. I just, I'm a very competitive person. I always wanted to win in life, and I just realized that, holding on to that anger wasn't hurting God. It was hurting me, and so, um, I just started to redevelop myself. And I just started becoming conscious about who I was hanging around and the lifestyle I was choosing at that time. And yeah, and even to this day, like later down the line, this is something that I unpacked in therapy. And I think at that point, even before I got there, because I didn't hate God, but I didn't forgive him. You know what I mean? Because even through all of that, I knew that God was real, and I seen some miracles happen in my life where I knew it was like, okay, he's real, but that still didn't take away the hurt and the pain. that I felt from my mother's death, you know. But again, it wasn't hurting God, it was hurting me by not forgiving, right? And I knew that in that moment, if I wanted to go to the next level, that it was gonna take some forgiving, some giving for forgiving, and starting to personal develop. And so, with that, I started to really build pillars around me, like in faith, my humility and my emotional strength. So those are things that I really started to, attack. So with that being said, how does this story tie into my brand, the husband code? Well, as a husband, I've learned that, forgiveness isn't just about this big dramatic moment or whatever. It's about the small things that you do every day. All right. It's the small acts that you do every day. So I say this, it's about understanding that, life sometimes doesn't always make sense, but it's about the responses that shape our lives, right? Everything doesn't have to make sense, but it is always definitely about how we respond to things. And that goes into our personal development, our marriages, and, that's just what it is. So I would say with that, the big word to take away is forgiveness. And that is that's one of the most powerful things that a man can embrace. That's one of the most powerful things a man can have in his tool belt is just forgiveness. And when you forgive, you lead by example. Like when we heal, we create a space for like ourselves, our family to heal as well. And I would say as husbands, we must embrace that humility and admit when we're wrong. We need to use that to seek for growth and just to strive for a better version of ourselves every single day. So again, forgiveness definitely is, the most, well, I won't say the most, but one of the most powerful things that we can have in our tool belt. And I want to say this before I end. Forgiving God, once I went through therapy and all of that, forgiving God was one of the most hardest things that I had, one of the hardest challenges that I had to face that was ever in my life. Because again, it just didn't make sense, right? On why he would take my mother away from me and my sister. Like we had nothing. Again, I'm really from the projects. Not that it mattered because everybody got their cards dealt, but I say it matters in the sense of like it's a harder hill to climb. You know what I mean? And you have to build your own self as a man. In that process, my sister had to build her own self as a woman without the help from my mother and our fathers. We had neither one in our lives for real like that. So, I mean, again, shout out to my uncle who took the call on the call. He had his trials and tribulations where he couldn't really pour into us like that because his life took a dramatic turn as well. And he had his own kids to deal with. You know what I mean? So, I had to get it how I live. I had to get it on my own. But I say all that to say, being that forgiving God was like one of the hardest things I had to do in my life. What it taught me was, it taught me what it means to let go of, things we can't control and trust the process, right? And even to this day, me knowing that God is real, is that the death of my mother taught me I had to trust the process, right? I had to trust things I don't understand. I had to trust things that's out of my control, right? And I would say for the husbands out there, what's something that you've been holding on to and that's been weighing you down, right? What's something that you need to start trusting the process on? What's something that you need to allow God to take control and you lose control of it or let go of control because we can't control everything, right? Is it something you need to forgive? Is it someone you need to forgive? Do you need to forgive yourself, right? Do you need to forgive your partner, your wife? Do you need to forgive past mistakes? Forgiveness is a part of the personal development of being a great husband. That's part of the husband code, right? So, again, with all that being said, today is Thanksgiving. And I'm thankful today for God allowing me to share this story with you guys. I'm just thankful. And so I appreciate y'all listening. Again, this was a real hard one for me to share. Again, but I want to be raw, man. This is my story because really at the end of the day, um, everybody has a story to tell, you know? Everybody has a story to tell. They're just mine. I'm just willing to share it. I'm willing to continue to be raw with you guys um, because I care. I care about the husbands out there. I care about the men out there who want to be better men. And if I don't pour into you guys um, at a point in my life where I have much to give by telling my personal stories and hoping that it relates to you and hoping that something inside of you wakes up, hoping that something clicks inside of you by saying, man, this dude he's sharing his story. It's relatable. I really understand what he's talking about. That's what I'm hoping to accomplish. And so again, I'm very thankful for you guys listening. Drop a comment below. Subscribe if it's your first time to the Husband Code. Every Thursday going forward, I will be sharing personal stories like this. And, hit that notification bell and hit a like on the video. Until next time, I appreciate y'all. Again, happy Thanksgiving. Be thankful today. And until tomorrow, I'll see y'all next time. Peace.